scientists! It sure feels weird to be at home this week and not with all of you. But I had the idea to read some of my favorite science books to you, even though we aren't together. Come back to this YouTube channel each day and check for new videos. I'm going to try to put a new one up each weekday that we're not at school. Now, let's get started with the first one. This book is This Little Scientist by Joan Hullab and Daniel Rood. This Little Scientist. Asking why, then making a guess. Asking how, then proving with tests. Little scientists make great big discoveries. Do you see any scientists you recognize? This is Isaac Newton. This little scientist said we would walk on the ground because gravity stops us from floating around. Isaac Newton also found a rainbow of colors called a spectrum inside a beam of light and figured out 3 rules for how objects move. We've talked about Isaac Newton with our force and motion unit. This is Maria Marion. This little scientist painted bugs everywhere, laying eggs, eating leaves, even flying mid-air. Maria Sibylla Marion's paintings explained such things as how caterpillars turn into butterflies through a change called metamorphosis. This is Marie Curie. This little scientist did experiments to show that atomic energy made uranium rocks glow. Marie Curie studied invisible atoms that give off energy particles she named radioactivity. She was the first person to win 2 Nobel Prizes in chemistry and physics. This is Albert Einstein, the one with the crazy hair. This little scientist had wild white hair. He was famous for writing E equals mc squared. Albert Einstein's equation means that energy and mass are the same thing in different forms. He said nothing can go faster than the speed of light, 186,282 miles a second. This is Grace Hopper. This little scientist wrote code that was new to tell computers in words what we want them to do. Grace Hopper programmed computers in words instead of numbers. She popularized the term computer bug when a moth flew inside her computer and broke it. This is Katherine Johnson. This little scientist got the math right to help NASA astronauts launch outer space flight. Katherine Johnson solved hard math problems on paper before trusted computers were available, so space heroes like John Glenn could safely orbit the Earth. Katherine Johnson actually just died a few weeks ago at the age of 101. This is Jane Goodall. This little scientist studied chimpanzees and made friends with them among Africa's trees. Jane Goodall discovered that chimps hug their friends and make tools like spoons out of sticks. Before this, people thought only humans made tools. This is Cao Lin Wu. This little scientist has a brilliant spark. She helped find particles called gluon and charm quark. Cao Lin Wu studies particles, the smallest building blocks of our universe. An atom's protons and neutrons are made of quarks stuck together by gluons. This is Stephen Hawking. This little scientist studied outer space surprises like mysterious black holes that form in many sizes. Stephen Hawking made big news by explaining how some particles might escape black holes, which have gravity so strong that everything nearby falls into them. This is Neil deGrasse Tyson. This little scientist helps us understand how our universe works and how it began. Neil deGrasse Tyson visited the Hayden Planetarium as a boy and got excited about stars and planets. He grew up to be the director of the planetarium. Quarks, robots, or DNA? What would you like to discover someday? Maybe one day I will see one of your faces in this. See? Right here. You. I really hope one day they make another addition to this book and that you are one of the famous scientists included. Tomorrow, I'm going to read one of my very favorite science books that all of you are already familiar with. See if you can guess which one it is, and come back tomorrow to find out. Bye!